Blaylock with Kent Sports Replays or Classic Sports Replays. Coming to you this morning, late morning. It's 11:32 a.m. here in the Carolinas, and I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope everyone is wanting to watch some Payoff Pitch using Game Pulse. I am going to be getting into the replay of the 1921 World Series because I purchased the 1921 game to be played on Game Pulse that season. And I'm already also in the midst of a 1972 replay, but I just kind of wanted to do this as a one-off, just get the whole World Series played. It's going to be a World Series between the New York Giants of the National League against the New York Yankees of the American League. And interestingly enough, in 1921, they played from the same stadium, the Polo Grounds there in New York. So it's the first series to be played, and I believe the only series to be played on the same field. Also in 1921, it would be the last season that they would play a best of 9 series. So it was a series that in the real life, the New York Giants won 5-3. It's also the first appearance of the New York Yankees in the World Series. And to get them started on that great dynasty that they have in New York with World Series. And it's going to be an interesting series. We're going to go ahead and replay it using all the games as they were played. If it goes more than 8, number 9 will be a interesting matchup, and we'll just see how we'll have to play it out. But let's go to the game engine. As you can see, here we are in Game Pulse. I have to say I've been enjoying Game Pulse pretty much. Y'all have to excuse me, I got tired eyes. Another thing that I need to make you aware of, I am at home, not at work, because Tuesday of last week I had a full knee replacement on my left leg, and so I'm reclining back in a sofa with my leg up and playing some Game Pulse, so that I'm going to be getting out a few more games than usual. So if you see here on the screen, and the game set up for the 1921 World Series between the National League New York Giants and the American League New York Yankees. Home field advantage, I would say there was probably not one because they both played at the Polo Grounds, but in this first game, the New York Giants will be the home team. So let's go to the game. I'm going to back up out of this and just go and take a look at, I want to get into where we can look at the lineups. I think I've made it where it's going to be difficult for me to do that. So we won't do that. We'll look at the lineups on the side here. Man, tired eyes. Leading off for the Yankees will be center fielder Elmer Miller. Batting in the second spot, shortstop Roger Peckinpah. In left field and batting third, Babe Ruth. Batting in the cleanup spot will be Bob Musial, playing right field. Batting in the fifth spot at first base, Wally Pitt. Batting in the sixth spot at second base, Aaron Ward. In the seventh spot at third base, Mike McNally. And in the eighth spot, Wally Shang, your catcher. And the pitcher in batting in ninth spot will be Carl Mays. Pitching this first game of the World Series for the Giants, the New York Giants, is Phil Douglas, right-hander, ERA of 4.22 in the 21 season with a 15-10 record. So this is the lineup, and coming to the plate will be Frank Snyder. Snyder to the plate. See Phil Douglas's card. He's got a tough out on there, so it's I always find the tough out plays interesting. But Elmer Miller stepping in the 21 season, added 298 with 4 home runs. Here's the pitch. It's going to be an in-play roll of 15, and that's going to be a leadoff single by Elmer Miller as he's safely on. Looking at Elmer Miller's ratings, his stolen base rating of an F, he's not going anywhere. So Frank Snyder steps up. Snyder, right-handed batter, batting, I believe that's 315 or 375. My eyes can't make that out. I think it's, oh, that's his on base percentage. Let me see if I can see that. 320 with 8 home runs. Runner on first. Phil Douglas goes into his windup, and the pitch, it's going to be a defensive check. It's going to be an error check on the shortstop, and his rating is a 4. He's got a 1 to 40 chance to make an error, and he does not. He makes the out. It's a ground ball too short, and they doubled him up. Double play as they turn the 6-4-3 double play. So 2 down, and Babe Ruth coming to the plate. Babe Ruth, the Bambino. I wish these cards were just a little bit bigger. My eyesight is not good, but we know he crushed a lot of home runs. I believe that's 60 home runs with a 398 average. Here comes the pitch to Ruth. It'll be an in play, 99, and that's just a deep fly ball into right field. Ross Young settles underneath it for out number 3, and that's 3 up and 3 down in the first inning for the New York Yankees. That brings up the New York Giants to the plate. We'll take a look at their lineup. Leading off in center field is George Burns. In the second spot, playing shortstop, Dave Bancroft. At third base, Frankie Frisch. In the cleanup spot, Ross Youngs, playing right field. In the fifth spot, first baseman, High Pockets Kelly. What a name. In the sixth spot, left fielder, Irish Musial. In the seventh spot, second baseman, Johnny Rawlings. And in the eighth spot, catcher Frank Snyder, and then there's your pitcher, Phil Douglas, in the ninth spot. Pitching for the Yankees is Carl Mays. Carl Mays, in the 21 season, had a 3.05 ERA with a 27-9 record. A lot of appearances by Carl Mays. So Mays steps to the rubber, toes the rubber, goes into his windup, and the pitch to George Burns. And I do not know where Gracie is. Here's the pitch to Burns. It's a ballpark. We'll get the first ballpark roll. We look at the Polo Grounds card. Against right-handed batters, 1 to 64 will be a wheelhouse. 65 to 99 will be in play. So it will be a wheelhouse. And for Burns against right-handed pitching, not much power, but a 1 to 5 chance he home runs and a 1 to 67 chance he gets a base hit. And he does. It is a triple as he rattles one around in the corner, and he makes it all the way to third. Does George Burns. Lead off triple by Burns puts him safely at third, 90 feet from pay dirt. Take a look at his bunt rating. He's a bunt rating of B. I think I'm going to try a squeeze play here as Bancroft steps up. He squares to bunt, flip the fact, and lead runners out, batter safe at first base. He did a poor job with the bunt, and my attempt to do a squeeze play blew up in my face. What great coaching early in the game. That brings up Frankie Frisch with 1 out and a man on first. Frisch batting .341 with 8 home runs in 1921. Here's the pitch to Frisch. Will be a patient 39, and that will be a single by Frisch. runner on first advances 2 bases, so they had a little trouble getting it in, and we have runners on the corners with 1 out, and Ross Young's coming to the plate. Young's batted .327 with 9 home runs. Here's the pitch to Young's as Carl May's in a bit of a tight spot here early in New York. It's going to be another patient roll. That patient 46, he walks him, so he loads the bases. The bases are dripping with Giants as High Pockets Kelly comes to the plate. High Pockets. Where'd they get that name from? Looks like a 308 or 308 average with 21 home runs. So a little pop to his bat. Don't get one up in the zone. Carl Mays, as the pitch comes from Mays. It's going to be a defensive check once again, this time on the range of the third baseman. The third baseman has a range of C, which you can see here is the middle of the road, 1 to 37, and it will be a hit, 37 to 99, and it will be an out. And it is an out, ground ball with runner advancement. And so that will score the run from third. Now we have 2 outs with runners on second and third. 1-0 game for the Giants as Irish Musial comes to the plate. Musial batting .329 with 2 home runs. A lot of high averages for the Giants. Here's the pitch, and that will be a tough out. So no matter the roll, it's going to be an out. He just pops it up to second base as Aaron Ward drifts slightly into right field and makes the play for out number 3, but not before a run comes across for the New York Giants. And we go to the second with New York up 1-0. And Bob Musial coming to the plate. If Bob Musial and Irish Musial are related, I'll have to look that up later. Musial batted .318 with 24 home runs in 1921. Phil Douglas going into his windup in the pitch. It's going to be a tough 61, and that's a ground ball to third. Frankie Frisch up with it, fires it over to High Pockets Kelly for out number 1 on the 5-3 putout. That brings up Wally Pipp. Wally Pipp batting .296 with 8 home runs. Phil Douglas into his windup, and the pitch. It's going to be a patient 81. That's a fly ball into center field. George Burns settled us underneath it for out number 2. And that'll bring up second baseman Aaron Ward, who batted .306 with 5 home runs. And that's going to be an in-play roll. And Aaron Ward slaps a single into left field. We have a runner on with 2 outs, and Mike McNally coming to the plate. McNally, the third baseman, looks like he batted, and I apologize for this, but I have trouble seeing these cards, so I'm going to lean up here, like 260 or 280. And here is the delivery. Yeah, it's going to be a wheelhouse. Let's look at McNally's wheelhouse before we make that roll. Against right-handed pitching, he's a 1 to 53 to get a hit. 1 to 8, he hits a home run. So let's see what this roll is. It's a 69, and it's just a ground ball to second as he drives it into the dirt. Johnny Rollins makes a 4-3 putout for out number 3. 1 runner left stranded, and we go to the bottom of the second with the New York Giants up 1-0. Coming to the plate, Johnny Rollins. Rollins, let's see, batted .267 with a home run. And here we go. Here is the pitch from Mays to Rollins. It's an in-play roll. An in-play roll at 59 is just a fly ball into right field. Bob Musial settles underneath it for out number 1. And that will bring up Frank Snyder. Snyder, a .320 batting average with 8 home runs in. And that's an in-play roll of 42. And that will be a single that's dropped in front of Bob Musial in right field, and we have a runner on with one out, and Phil Douglas coming to the plate. Pitcher's just going to swing away. He's not sure which hitting card he's hitting off of, or is he hitting off his own card? Here's the pitch to Douglas. It's going to be a patient 37, and that's just a ground ball to first, ground ball to first. And we're going to check for the double play. It's a double play rating of 6. So anything 6 and under, they'll turn it. And they do not. Roll of 11, only play at first base. Runner advances. So now with 2 outs, George Burns back to the plate. 1 for 1 on the day. Tripled his first time up as he rattled one around. Here's the pitch to Burns. It's going to be a patient roll of 14, and he walks him. So we got runners now on first and second with Dave Bancroft coming to the plate. Here's the pitch to Bancroft. He gets an in-play roll of 24, and he hits a single. Bancroft comes through. Runners advance 1 base plus. Runner on first advances 1 base. So can he score from third? And he does. And they both get 2 bases because of there being 2 outs. And a runner scores. And we have men on the corners now with the Giants now up 2-0. Frankie Frisch coming to the plate. Frisch 1 for 1 on the day. He singled his last time up. Here is the pitch. It's going to be an in-play 36. And these low rolls on in-play are doing the Giants a favor as it's another single hit. And runners, of course, the runner on third will score, but will the runner make it all the way from first? And he will not. So we have runners on first and third with the Giants now leading 3-0. And Ross Young's coming to the plate. Walked his first time up. As Mays is in a bit of a bind here. Can he get this final out? It's going to be another in-play roll. And this time it is a ground ball to third. Mike Manali with it up and over to first for the 5-3 put out. And out number 3, but not before 2 more runs come across. And we have a 3-0 New York Giants lead as we go to the 3rd inning. And that brings up Wally Shang to the plate for the New York Yankees. Shang batted .318 with 8 home runs, or that was .316 with 16 home runs. I'm not sure. Shang, here's the pitch. And he gets a tough roll of 22, and he hits a double. As you can see, 21-24 on Shang's card against right-handed pitching is a double, leadoff double for the Yankees. And now Carl Mays comes to the plate. This time we will try to sacrifice bunt. There's a good sacrifice rating, so we're going to sacrifice bunt to get Shang to third. Batter out, runners advance. So he did that rating of A. You can see sacrifice hit. Any other, he would not have got him across. But that has a Yankee on third and Wally Shang 90 feet from the pay station, and Frank Snyder coming to the plate. If you get anything into the outfield, it'll score Shang, I imagine. So Shang on third, Snyder to the plate, singled his first time up. Here's the pitch from Douglas. In his wheelhouse, let's take a look at Miller's wheelhouse. Against right-handed pitching, 1-11 will have a home run. 1-60 will have a hit. And that 0-1, that's a home run in anybody's playbook. Elmer Miller gets a fat one laid right in front of his face, and he smacks it into the right field seats. And we now have a 3-2 ball game as the Yankees get quickly back into it with a great hit by Miller, home run. And that brings up Roger Peckinpah. Hit into a double play his last time up. 3-2 ball game now here in the Polo Grounds in New York. Here's the pitch. It's an in play, 23, and Peckinpah follows that up with a single, and we have another runner on, one out, and Babe Ruth coming to the plate. Babe Ruth flew out to right field his last time up. Here's the pitch from Phil Douglas. It'll be a patient 0-3, and he walks Ruth, being very cautious with the hammering of Babe Ruth. That's Hank Aaron that hammers. Babe Ruth, known for his home run hitting. That brings up Bob Musial. Grounded out to third, his first time up. Two on. And here it is. It's an in-play roll. And it's another hit. It's a single with two on. Sharp liner into center field. Runner on first advances one base. Runner on second scores. So we got a 3-3 ball game now as the Yankees bats are getting awake. And it's now 3-3. Wally Pipp coming to the plate. Here's the pitch to Pipp. And it's a patient 54. It's a ground ball to third. Will they turn two? All right. The DP rating is 5. Anything 5 and under, and it will be a double play. And it will not. So it got the runner at second. So now we have runners on the corners with 2 outs and Aaron Ward coming to the plate. Ward singled his first time up. Phil Douglas looking to get himself out of this tight spot. Here's the pitch from Douglas. It's going to be a tough out, and he strikes him out. I believe that's the first strikeout of the game. For out number 3, 2 left stranded, but we had 3 runs come across for the Yankees, and we're tied up 3-3 here going in to the bottom of the third. And High Pockets Kelly coming to the plate. Here's the pitch to High Pocket Kelly from Carl Mays. It's going to be an in-play roll of 50. That's a ground ball to first. Wally Pipp fields it, goes to the bag for the 3 unassisted for out number 1. Irish Musial coming to the plate. Popped up to second base his first time up. Here's the pitch from Mays, and it's going to be an in-play roll of 90. That's a ground ball too short. Peckinpah with it over to first for the 6-3 put out and out number 2. That brings up Johnny Rollins. Second baseman flew out to right field his first time up. Here's the pitch from Mays. It's going to be a tough out, and he strikes him out. So Rollins goes down swinging for a 3-up, 3-down inning. And we go to the fourth. Tied up 3-3 here in the first game of the World Series at the Polo Grounds in New York. That'll bring up Mike McNally. McNally, his first time up, grounded to second. Snyder gives Douglas the signal, shakes his head, and here's the pitch. It'll be an in-play 0-5, and that is a single for Mike McNally as he drops one in front of the center fielder, George Burns. So McNally safely on, and that brings up Wally Shane. Doubled his first time up. Here's the pitch to Shane. It's an in-play 55, and that's a line out to the shortstop as he stabs it out of the air. Bancroft does for out number 1, holding McNally at first, and that brings up Carl Mays, the pitcher. And we're going to try to just bunt McNally over. He does have a rating of A, so very high chance he'll get it down, and he does. Vance is the runner, so we now have 2 outs, but we have a runner in scoring position in Mike McNally. That brings up Elmer Miller, who hit a 2-run shot his first time up. Here's the pitch to Miller, and it's going to be an in-play 78, and that's just a deep fly ball into center field. He took that one for a ride, but not far enough as George Burns settles underneath it for out number 3. And we go to the bottom of the fourth. tied up 3-3 here in New York. Frank Snyder coming to the plate. Singled his first time as Carl Mays goes into his windup. It's an in-play roll of 37 and 3-42 for Snyder as he drops one in front of the left fielder, Babe Ruth, and is safely on first with no outs. Phil Douglas, as the pitcher, we're going to lay down another bunt. He has a D rating as a bunter, though. That's not good. We'll see what happens. And it just gets, he does not advance the runner. He's safe, but did not succeed in sacrificing over. So we still have a runner on first with George Burns coming to the plate. He walked his first time up, and he's tripled in the game. So here comes the pitch to Burns. It's going to be his wheelhouse. It's a 1-5 chance for a home run, and he does not, but he does get to single. 127-67. He gets the single. And the runner on first advances 2 bases. So he gets Douglas all the way over to third. And with one out, we have runners on the corner. Dave Bancroft coming up to the plate. Here's the pitch from Mays. And it's going to be an in-play 58. Ground ball to third. Will they turn 2? All right, we have a DP check. Anything 6 and under, and this will be a double play. And it is not. The only play is at first base, and runners will advance. So that will bring in run number 4 for the Giants as they take a 4-3 lead here in the Polo Grounds, or on the Polo Grounds. George Burns on second. Frankie Frisch coming to the plate, 2 for 2 on the day with an RBI. Frisch gets the offering. It's a tough out offering. And that's a fly out to center field. Miller makes the play for out number 3. But we go to the 5th with the Giants now up 4-3. Good game going on here at the Polo Grounds as Phil Douglas eyes Roger Peckinpah. Peckinpah digs in, and the pitch comes. It'll be a wheelhouse roll for Peckinpah. Has a 1-15 chance for a home run, and that 98 is just a deep fly ball into left field. Irish Musial settles underneath it for out number 1. He missed that opportunity as Babe Ruth comes to the plate. He was walked his first time up, and it's going to be an in-play roll of 83, and it's a fly ball into center field. Not deep enough, though, as Burns settles underneath it for out number 2. And that brings up Bob Musial, who has 1 for 2 on the day with an RBI. And he gets a patient roll of 55, and that's just a ground ball to first. High pockets Kelly steps on the bag unassisted for the 3 unassisted put out. And out number 3. And we go to the bottom of the 5th with our score, New York Giants 4, New York Yankees 3. And that brings Ross Youngs to the plate. He was walked his first time up. Youngs to the plate. It's an in-play roll of 38, and that's just out, a pop up to second, as you can see on the out chart. And Aaron Ward just settles underneath it for the easy out. And that brings up High Pockets Kelly. Gets a tough out roll of 87. That's just a ground ball too short. Peckinpah up with it over to first to Wally Pipp for the 6-3 put out. That brings up Irish Musial, 0 for 2 on the day. Musial gets the offering, and it's going to be an in-play roll of 20. And Musial is now off the snide as he singles into center field. We have a runner on with 2 outs, and Johnny Rollins coming to the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. As Mays looks to do that again. It's going to be an in-play roll, however, of 67. That's just a ground ball to second. Aaron Ward up with it over to first for the 4-3 put out, and out number 3. So we go to the 6th inning, and the New York Yankees trailing the New York Giants 4-3 here in the first game of the 1921 World Series. Phil Douglas walked one and allowed a home run. Wally Pipp to the plate. Here's the pitch. It's going to be an in play, 0-1, and Wally Pipp steps up and doubles one in between Youngs and Burns in center field. So that's a leadoff double by Wally Pipp. That brings Aaron Warren to the plate, who struck out today. Here's the pitch to Ward. It's patient, 22, and he walks Ward, so runners now on first and second with no outs as Douglas is getting himself into a bind. And Mike McNally coming to the plate. And I'm liking the small ball, so I'm going to let McNally lay down a bunt. He's got a good bunt rating of B. And he does sacrifice runners forward. So now, with one out, we have runners on second and third with Wally Shane coming to the plate, who was doubled in this game. It's going to be a defensive check. This time that check is on the center fielder. It's a range check, and he has a range of D, which is not great. He's got a 1-45 chance to let this one drop. And he does. It is a hit. And that is a single. Aaron Ward, attempt extra base, run 6. Yeah, let's go ahead and send him. Evidently, Ward got out at play results. A coach's choice, Aaron Ward. That was a poor choice. There was only 18% chance, and he was out. I need to read the cards better. But now it is a 4-4 ball game. If I'd have been a little more conservative, there might be chance for more. But now with 2 outs, runners on first, and the pitcher, Carl Mays, coming to the plate. We'll just let him swing away. That's going to be a patient 52, and he just grounds it back to the pitcher. It's a comebacker to Phil Douglas, who fires it over to first for the 1-3 put out, and out number 3. But we're tied back up. I believe I left runs on the field by making Ward make that attempt, which he did not have a good chance to make. Poor coaching on my part. Carl Mays goes into his windup. Here's the pitch to Snyder, and that's going to be a tough out, and that's just a ground ball to second. Aaron Ward fields it easily, tosses it over to Pipp at first for a 4-3 put out and out number 1. And that brings up Phil Douglas. Douglas going to be swinging away in play roll of 0-9, and Douglas does himself a favor and singles into right field, dropping it in front of Bob Musial. And that brings up Burns with a runner on. Here's the pitch to Burns. Tough out of 80, and that's a fly ball into center field. Douglas will hold it first, and we have 2 down with Dave Bancroft coming to the plate. Here's a pitch to Bancroft. It's a patient 40, and he walks him. That will put runners on first and second with 2 outs. And Frankie Frisch coming to the plate, 2-3 on the day with an RBI. Here's the pitch to Frisch. It's an in play, 48, and he just lines it to the second baseman. Jumping grab by Aaron Ward as he lines out to second for the 3rd out. And we go to the 7th, tied up 4-4 here at the Polo Grounds. And that'll bring up Elmer Miller, who's homered in this game. Here's a pitch to Miller. Be a tough roll of 13. And he strikes him out as Miller goes down swinging. That's the 2nd strikeout today for Douglas. I'll bring up Roger Peckinpah, 1 for 3 on the day. Here's the pitch to Peckinpah. And it's going to be a defensive check, this time on the 3rd baseman's range. His range also is a D, so not very good range, but 1-45, and he gets to it, and he does easily. He gets a good break on the ball. Oh, no, excuse me, 1-45 is a hit. Got my numbers backwards. So it blasts by him. and the poor range, he could not get to it. And that's a single result. And Peckinpah making it 2 first with 1 out. And Babe Ruth coming to the plate 0 for 2 on the day with a walk. Here's the pitch to Ruth. In play, 87. That's a ground ball to second. And we're going to see if this is going to be a double play. Anything 6 and under, and it will be 2-turn, but it's not. It's a fielder's choice. As Peckinpah is forced out at second on the 4-6 fielder's choice. Ruth on first. Usual coming to the plate. 1 for 3 on the day. And this is going to be a wheelhouse roll for Musial. Musial gets right-handed pitching. 1 to 31. It's home run. If he'd have been a lefty, my goodness, 1 to 84. So here's he left one up in the zone, and here is the pitch, and it is a double as it's just outside of his home run range with that 35, but well within the double range. So he gets one to the wall, and Ruth makes it all the way home. We now have a 5-4 game. The New York Yankees leading here in the top of the 7th. Wally Pipp coming to the plate with Musial on second. Here is the pitch. It's in play, 48, and that's a line out hit sharply at short. Jumping grab by Dave Bancroft as he prevents it from getting into the outfield to hold the runs to 5-4. So we go in to the bottom of the 7th with Ross Young's coming to the plate. Take me out to the ball game plays, and Carl Mays goes into his windup. And it's an in play, 93, and that's just a ground ball to second. Ward over to Pipp for the 4-3 put out, and out number 1. And that'll bring up High Pockets Kelly. It's a patient roll of 07, and he walks Kelly. So Kelly's safely on first as he trots down, and Irish Musial coming to the plate. Musial gets the offering. It's another patient roll of 43, and this time it's a single by Kelly as he blooped one into right field. The runner on the first base will advance 1 base. So a little bloop single into right field in front of Musial and over Aaron Ward's head. We have runners on first and second with 1 out. Johnny Rollins coming to the plate. It's going to be a tough out. That 58 is a ground ball to third. He grounded out. Will they turn 2? And it's a roll of 6 or under, and it'll be a double play. And it is. They turn around the horn 5-4-3 double play to end the inning. And we go to the 8th with the Yankees up 5-4. And Phil Douglas is going to be having a seat. Let's bring in a relief pitcher for the Giants. As you can see, we can go to the menu. I can select relief pitcher. I've got one readily available, and I'm going to go ahead and pick him and play him. So it's Claude Gennard. Looks like he played in 1 game, 1 save, and 4 innings pitched. He's got a pretty tough looking card there. Get a ballpark at 2 and a defensive check at 12, but the rest are tough. So I don't think he goes many innings, but he's going to be a tough out, tough to get a hit. As Aaron Ward steps to the plate, and it'll be a tough roll. That tough 19. He struck him out as Gennard comes in and gets his first strikeout. That brings up Mike McNally. McNally digs in, pitch from Gennard. It's another tough roll, and he strikes him out as Gennard comes in, bringing the heat. That brings up Wally Shane, 2 for 3 on the day. It's another tough roll. That 08, he comes in and he strikes out the side as Gennard comes in and gets the job done. 3 up and 3 down, and we go to the middle of the 8th, the bottom of the 8th. 4-3 Yankees, 5-4 Yankees, and Mays is fatigued. So we're going to bring in a pitcher, and that pitcher will be Tom Rogers. Rogers card. A much more inviting card for Rogers. Here's the pitch from Rogers. It's going to be a patient 58, and that's just a ground ball to first. Wally pipped up with it, 3 unassisted for out number 1. And that brings up Claude Gennard. He's just going to swing away. I think I want him pitching that last inning. He gets a patient roll, though, of 11, and he is walked. So Rogers walks his counterpart. You can't walk the pitcher in this situation. George Burns up to the plate, and it's going to be a defensive check. It's going to be an error check on the third baseman. And fortunately, on the arrow side, the 5 is the best that you can get. He's only got a 1 to 33 chance for an error. And he does not. He makes the play. It's a line out to third base. Mike McNally making the play easily. Out number 2. That brings up Dan Bancroft. It's Claude Gennard on first. It's going to be an in play 14, and that's going to be a single. Runner on first advances 1 base. But because there's 2 outs, he was able to make it to third. And so we got runners on the corners with 2 outs and Frankie Frisch coming to the plate. Tom Rogers looking to get it done here. It's another patient roll of 38, and it's a single. And that's going to score the node, and we're tied up 5-5 here. And Frankie Frisch, Bancroft, Ross Youngs. Here's the pitch to Youngs. And it's going to be a ballpark. Okay, let's take a look at this. Right-handed pitching, 1 to 72. There's a chance for a hit. And he could not get it done. It's an in-play roll. And that's just a ground out too short. Route number 3. He had the opportunity to drive in more, but we go to the 9th inning and we're tied up 5-5. Tom Rogers is coming to the plate. He will be pinch hit for the Yankees. Who will we pick? Who would you go? The Chicken Hawks? Who in the world? Let's bring in a home run Baker. Pinch hit. Baker coming to the plate. Home run Baker. 294 average with 9 home runs. Here's the offering. It's going to be a tough 95, and that's just a deep fly ball into right field for 1. And that brings up Elmer Miller. Elmer Miller has a home run in this game. Can he repeat that? That's another tough roll. And he struck him out. Gennard bringing the heat. Or is he bringing the curveball, change-ups? I don't know. I don't know his pitching style. It's another tough roll of 74, and that's just another ground ball to second. So he sits them down here in the top of the 9th. And we go to the bottom of the 9th, 5-5, and I need a pitcher. Who do I want to bring in? Bring in Bill Piercy. I don't know if that's the correct guy to bring in, but that's who I'm bringing in. I don't know the history of these guys. So Bill Piercy, a pretty decent looking card. Does have a wheelhouse chance and a ballpark chance. A lot of tough and patience. High pocket Kelly steps in. And he gets a tough roll of 52, and that's a ground ball to first. Pip grabs it over to the bag, and 3 unassisted for out number 1. Irish Musial has a 2-for-4 day going on with 2 singles. And that's going to be a patient roll of 26, and he walks him. So it looks like this card for Piercy, he may have trouble with control a little bit. So he's got a runner on first now. Johnny Rollins coming to the plate. He's 0-for-4 on the day. Piercy into his windup and the pitch. It's another tough roll of 74, and that's a fly ball into center field for out number 2. And that brings up Frank Snyder. Frank Snyder gets the offering. It's another patient roll of 12, and he walks Snyder. So we got runners on first and second. And that brings up Claude Gennard, which I'm going to, as much as I hate pulling him because of his pitcher card, I need somebody to come in to hit. See if I can get a lefty in the game. Oh, who do I go with? Earl Smith is probably my best choice here. Bring in Smith against the righty. Smith has that 336 average with a lot of home run power. So here's the pitch to Smith. Can he do anything with it? It's going to be an in play, 54, and he just grounds it to third. 5-3 put out, and we are going extra innings here as we're tied up 5-5. You're going into the 10th. What a game to start off this World Series. Want to bring in the pitch. Bring in Red Causey. A bad looking card. No wheelhouse on there. A lot of in plays and patience. So chances for hits. It's going to be a tough, though, on his first roll, and that's a ground ball to third, as Babe Ruth is 0 on the day. Not a good game for the Bambino. And Bob Musial stepping to the plate, 2 for 4 on the day. Red Causey into his windup. And the pitch from Causey. That's an in play, 82, and that's a fly ball to center field for out number 2. George Burns squeezes it for the F8 put out. And that brings up Wally Pipp. 1 for 4 on the day is Pipp. So we have a patient roll to Wally Pipp. And that roll will be a walk, that roll of 28. He walks Pipp. Red Causey comes in and allows a runner on first, but we have 2 outs and Aaron Ward coming to the plate. Here's the pitch to Ward, who's 1 for 3 on the day. And that's a patient roll of 95, but that's just a fly ball into left field for 3 outs. We continue on to the bottom of the 10th. Still tied up here 5-5. George Burns coming to the plate facing Bill Piercy. Here comes the pitch to Burns. And that's going to be a tough roll of 71. And that's just a ground ball to second for the 4-3 put out and out number 1. And that brings up Dave Bancroft. Piercy staring down Bancroft. He goes into his windup and the pitch. And this is a ballpark roll. Again, against right-handed batters, it's a 1-64 chance for a wheelhouse, 65-99 for an in play. And he's a switch hitter. I missed that. Bancroft is a switch hitter. So he had a 1-72 chance. That 67 falls into his wheelhouse. His wheelhouse against right-handed pitching, he's about the same on both sides, but he's got a 1-65 chance for a hit. And that 0-2, we have walked this off. Dave Bancroft comes in, gets one that gets up in the zone. Piercy offering up a big fat one. And that is a home run to walk this game off in game number 1. Dave Bancroft with a game-winning home run. And there's your most valuable player, Dave Bancroft. Look, 3 for 5 on the day, 1 home run and 3 RBIs. Great game by Dave Bancroft and a great opening game in this series. Let's take a look at the box score. And you can see this is a very technical looking box score, But we went 10 innings, 6-5 ball game, 13 hits for the Giants, 11 for the Yankees. Again, Bancroft, the big winner for the day, our most valuable player for the game. You couldn't give it to any pitcher. Bancroft making the biggest impact on the game. Mays pitched 7 innings, allowed 10 hits, 4 runs, 4 of them earned. Rogers came in, allowed a run. Bill Piercy came in and allowed a run. For the Giants, Phil Douglas pitched 7 innings, allowing 5 runs, all of them earned. Then Claude Gennard, he come in and he was lights out, 2 innings with 4 strikeouts. And the only reason we pulled him is to get an extra bat in the game. And then Red Causey came in and pitched 1 inning, getting the win. Bill Piercy given the loss for the Yankees. Close it out in this game. And my goodness, what an opening game for this World Series to go extra innings with a 5-4 game or 6-5 game, and Dave Bancroft walking it off. What an opening game. And I hope you've enjoyed it. I know I have. And we'll be back for game 2 tomorrow. Hope you have a great day. Soli Deo Gloria.